Okay, well, I just wanted to do this one last video of this side, at least for this year. This is where we had the corn on the side of the house. It's all covered in weeds right now that the corn's gone, and the soil isn't in too good of a shape at the moment. But what is growing well here, I had some lemon basil last year, and it dried it and saved the seeds. And threw some out here with the corn, and it's going really nicely. Don't have to water it very much at all. There's another one right there. What I'm going to do with this next year, or over the winter if some of the weather gets nice, is I'm going to kind of turn it into a raised bed area. I'm going to put some boards across the front here over to the deck, and I'm going to use that deck side there as one of the sides of the raised bed, and I'm going to put in maybe 5 or 6 inches of soil. Do kind of like what I did with the raised beds over here at the other side of the house that we're going to in just a second, and put some cardboard down, some newspaper, wet that down, and then just kind of put a mixture of compost and some soil and other garden material. Kind of build that up and get rid of these weeds here, and just make it a little bit better than it is right now. So that's all that's over here on this side of the house at the moment, besides the weeds. This is intentional, and this is the lemon basil, and like I said, it's doing really well. And here we are at the raised beds, and as you can see, this one looks like it's in really good shape, and it is. This is the pepper bed and tomato bed. See some jalapeno peppers there. Let me close this. Yeah, there's some jalapenos right there. And these have been turning a little purple color instead of red. Usually they start to turn pretty quickly into red for me, in the past anyway. So I get it's okay. They still taste good. But these are still doing well. These habaneros are doing pretty amazing too. I had an orange one the other day, first orange one. I harvested it and actually ate a little bit of it, and couldn't feel my lips for a while after that, but it's really good pepper. Cucumbers, I think I have 2 cucumbers left. There's one, and then here's one over here. And the plants started to have it here. I think it's given up the ghost after those 2. And I'll just go ahead and pull it. Getting some more baby bell peppers. And some more jalapenos on that plant. And plenty more jalapenos on this plant. Now, tomatoes, just an example. Here's Maddie's tomato plant, one of the ones that fell over. Still have lots of green tomatoes. Got some red tomatoes on it. Got plenty of red tomatoes and green tomatoes on mine as well. Hers looked a little iffy on the leaves. Some of them are turning yellow and brown. Mine are staying fairly green. These are all coming out in about 2 weeks after the fair. I need these tomatoes to ripen up in the garden for the salsa. So that I'm competing in the fair with, that I showed you the other day on the last video. So I'm going to keep these and then take them out. Keep the green tomatoes for tomato bread, and I'll make a video about that. And we'll just clear this out then, and then leave the peppers until frost. They do really well until frost. Oh, this is actually a chocolate bell pepper, is what this is. It looks like a jalapeno right now, but it'll fill out and it'll turn a brownish color. We've harvested them way before they've turned brown though, so I might leave this one and go. Anyway, go just up until frost with it, or whenever it ripens. It's the 6th of September right now. Typical first frost is mid-October, but we have had frosts in September before. And with the way this summer hasn't been very cold, there's a decent chance that we're going to have an early frost, I would say. Okra plants. These have not done too bad. I've had 3 good ones come up, and one little tiny one that I pulled up yesterday that was only about 4 or 5 inches tall. It got a late start. But I've had enough okra for me. I've had, the other day I made tomatoes, green peppers, onions, okra, and a little Cajun seasoning. I put that in the microwave for 10 minutes or so, stirred it, put it in again for a little bit longer, and served it over rice. It was really delicious. You can see I've taken the corn out. This is the one that had the Inca sweet corn and the popcorn, and all of that's gone now, except for some of the material I worked into the garden, some of the dead material. I've taken one of the watermelon plants out, the plain watermelon. The Moon and Stars watermelons are still growing. In fact, there's one that thinks that it's going to become a baby watermelon, but I don't think so. I haven't really mowed in this area just because there have been watermelons all through here. But I still have several watermelons out here. I think about 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got... There's one over there. That'll be the next one we harvest. One there. And then over in the taller grass over there, I've got one right over there. Okay, Tigger melons are done. The pumpkins that I had over here in between Harris's and Maddie's garden never really took off very well. Harris's cherry tomatoes are still doing really well. And what I'm doing with those, I took a little snip of one of the tops here and put some rooting hormone on it and put it in a pot. I'm going to try to grow that inside during the winter, but you know, chances are it's probably not going to work very well. Let's see. What else is over here? Oh, the snake gourd. Down under here, let me see. I can see the very end of it. There's a snake gourd right there. It got a little stunted, so it kind of ballooned out on the sides a little bit more than it would have normally if it was just kind of out free. But that's part of the snake gourd, and it goes from here all the way over to about here, but it's very hard to see the other end with all the tomatoes and everything. So, got that, and with Harris's tomatoes as well, I'm just going to take those out. The Romas didn't do great. They just stayed really tiny. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could see one here just as an example. This is a Roma tomato. These should have been a little bigger. That's about as big as they all got. Still tasty, but stunted. Very stunted. I'm just going to leave that in there to work into the soil. And I'll probably end up with some volunteer tomato plants. But anyway, yeah, here's some more cherry tomatoes. He's doing pretty well with those. Okay, that's all with that.